Hello, my name is Uthman Kilji and I'm the President of Student Leadership Council. At this time, it is my pleasure to introduce the outstanding graduates for the class of 2020. Annually, 2 students graduating with honors are recognized by the College of DuPage Foundation as the outstanding graduates. A committee of faculty, staff, and administrators make the final selection based upon number of criteria. The student must have a minimum cumulative GPA of at least 3.8 on a 4-point scale. They also must demonstrate leadership in college and/or community activities, work toward their professional and/or educational goals, and involvement in academic or cultural enrichment outside the classroom. Before introducing the outstanding graduates for this year, I would like to recognize all the outstanding graduate finalists. Sarah Bredesen of Naperville, Kayla Abigail Cardenas Arcila of Sugar Grove, Courtney Suchini of West Chicago, Mathis Lozadas of Bloomingdale, Fu Lee of Glendale Heights, Heidi Monteith of West Chicago, Angelica Rossi of Darien, and Shannon Wells of Sheridan. They are all exceedingly accomplished students, and according to the committee, the final decision was very difficult to make. So congratulations to you all. Now, the 2 students selected to represent the class of 2020 as the outstanding graduates are Areeb Kidwai of Aurora and Pamela Campos of West Chicago. Now let's hear from Areeb.
Hello, and welcome to College of DuPage's very first virtual commencement ceremony. We have to admit, this is all pretty weird, right? I definitely didn't think I would be giving my commencement speech like this. Some of us may be sitting on the couch in the living room with our family viewing this commencement ceremony, and others may be in their room while their siblings are watching TV next door. The journey to this point hasn't been the easiest for any of us, but through it, we have all grown and changed from when we first entered COD. So tonight, we celebrate. If I were to tell my younger high school self that I'd be working on a bachelor's degree in psychology and speaking today at our first virtual commencement, he would probably laugh. But here I am. Here we all are. In each of our own unique ways, we struggled before coming to COD. And I am no exception to this. I am a person who is abusing drugs, lying about almost all aspects of my life, and hurting almost everyone around me because I couldn't find any meaning in my life. Due to the drugs, lying, and disregard for others, I am a person who completed his sophomore year of high school with only a 2.11 GPA. I am a person who is on a path to getting himself killed or going to prison. I am a person who told his parents his junior year of high school he didn't love them and that being sent off to boarding school was better than living with them. I am a person who spent a year away from his family at age 16 in southern Utah at a boarding school called Liahona Academy to change myself for the better. After graduating from boarding school, I had doubt about my academic and career aspirations, something I am sure resonates with many of us. In addition to this confusion, I also had a shoddy high school transcript that most universities would have been repelled by. As a blessing in disguise, I applied to COD and the community welcomed me and all of my mistakes with open arms. COD gave me a fresh start. It gave us all a fresh start. At COD, our low GPAs, our unhealthy relationship with our parents, or our negative friend groups weren't of any importance. It didn't matter what mistakes or failures we had in the past, it was all about what we did in that moment. Our skin color, religious and ethnic background, and economic status didn't matter. College of DuPage leveled the playing field for all of us. It was an equalizer. The only thing we as students were judged on was our hard work. Resources such as tutoring, scholarships, leadership clubs, and amazing Subway sandwiches in the cafeteria were available to everyone. COD is a place for all to thrive. COD is a place where we as students can be the best version of ourselves. I was lucky enough and worked extremely hard to attain my Associate of Science degree early, and in December, I began applying and was accepted into 8 universities. COD propelled me to start pursuing my bachelor's at one of the nation's top psychology schools, and the only place colder than Illinois, University of Minnesota. Apart from being a full-time student, I'm conducting research on teenage substance abuse, and I'm a part of the Student Senate Committee on campus. I plan on continuing my education by earning my doctorate one day, so that I can help others be the best version of themselves. With all these goals and accomplishments in mind, I can say confidently that COD has prepared me for such challenges. All of us are prepared to tackle the bigger challenges that await us after graduation. All of the graduates can agree that we would have never made it to this ceremony and learned to overcome future challenges without the help of certain people in our lives. Most importantly, I want to thank my mom and my dad for not giving up on me when I had given up on myself. I want to thank all the staff and students at Liahona Academy for teaching me to be myself and persevere through any obstacle. Lastly, I want to thank all my professors, but especially David Taylor, Tom Wang, and Kent Richter, who helped me in my coursework and challenged me in new ways that I hadn't been challenged before. All of us should be proud of this accomplishment, but our work isn't done yet. We learned at COD that it doesn't matter what you did or didn't do, but rather what you do next. We can't stop here. We have to keep holding ourselves accountable and setting the standard for what we know we are. We must be determined and continue looking adversity in the face and saying, we can do it. At the end of the day, we all know no one can believe in us for us. We have to keep accepting and working hard through the challenges that are going to come. Now go and be the best version of yourself, but remember to do it at least 6 feet away from other people.
Now, let's hear from Pamela.
Change. A word we hear often these days. From changing the way we socialize to changing the way we learn. Changes big and small are being seen and actively implemented as we speak. And I'm sure we can all agree that small changes are easier to handle than big ones. Changes like switching from watching The Office to Parks and Rec. Trust me, I'm well adapted to that change. But the bigger changes are more difficult to adapt to. Changes like being unable to say goodbye to our classmates and professors, or taking that iconic "Peace out, COD" Snapchat picture in front of school. We often associate the word change negatively, but change can be good as well. It may not be easy, but change can create new opportunities. Take, for example, this virtual commencement. Was it disappointing to learn that we wouldn't be able to throw our caps at the end of the graduation ceremony? Yes. Was it safer for everyone to celebrate at home? Yes. Will the graduating class of 2020 go down in the history books as one of the most flexible and adaptable classes of all time? Also, yes. We still get to enjoy, celebrate, and cherish this moment and all of our hard work. Instead of sitting in a sweaty gymnasium for 3 hours, some of us are sitting on our couches with our dogs, who have been excited that we've been home all this time. Or streaming with our entire families, who may have been getting on our nerves recently. So embrace the uniqueness of this ceremony. Grab some champagne, your air horn, confetti, and balloons, because you never would have been able to bring those things to COD's gym. Each and every one of us has worked really hard to get here. All those endless hours of studying, running on Starbucks coffee, and 5 hours of sleep, if we're lucky, have finally paid off. Just like that cliched saying goes, the hassle was worth the tassel. As we celebrate tonight, reflect and consider all the changes that each of you have made over the last few years. If you are like me, your journey to graduation has been riddled with changes. One change that I dealt with was changing career paths. When I tell people that despite having a bachelor's degree already, that I went back to school to earn my associate's degree, they look surprised. I know that most students receive their associates at COD and then their bachelor's at another university. But after earning my original bachelor's degree and working as a rehab tech for 2 years, I was burning out and unhappy that I didn't have more one-on-one interactions with my patients. I had a decision to make. I could continue being unhappy as a tech for the rest of my life. I could apply to graduate school again, or I could completely change my career. I embraced change. The change was frightening and overwhelming, but there was a quote I remembered from Albert Einstein, who once said, "Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results." I was not about to become insane. Of course, I didn't know back then about the effects of stay-at-home orders. 2 years ago, I knew that I could not sit and wait for change to come. I needed to make it happen, but I didn't know what new career path to embrace. I loved being part of the rehab process, and that's when a thought popped into my head. What if a patient of mine was attempting to complete an exercise but had been unsuccessful after many attempts? As a therapist, I wouldn't tell the patient that they had failed. Instead, I'd have to adjust the treatment plan. I would change the exercise, but not the goal. In other words, I would need to change their journey, but not the destination. And that's exactly what I did. I applied to COD's Physical Therapy Assistant program. Being accepted into the program has by far been one of the best experiences I've had in my life. The decision to make a change has not only given me, like all of you, an education and career, but also great memories and friendships. But I would have not gotten here without the help and support of my family, including my dog, who had to sit and listen to me talk about exercise progressions for hours. Thank you to my parents who have always supported me in my education and in life. To my siblings who have often been my practice patients and have never complained. I would also like to thank the PTAs I worked with who inspired me to change my career path. Thank you to the staff at COD, especially Kim Oakley, who answered my endless stream of questions. And of course, thank you to my professors in the PTA program, Sharon Roche, Rosemary Buckus, Jill Diziak, John Bacoris, and Jonathan Leonor. Your dedication to not only teach, but to mold us into future PTAs will forever be with us. Lastly, thank you to my classmates. I could have not asked for a better group of such fun and caring people to go through this program with. Thank you for helping me go through this change. We are all going through changes right now. We feel stress, hesitant, cautious, and 100 other emotions. But remember that change is not considered failure, nor is changing the journey. It's the journey and experiences that matter most. If we embrace change, new, better opportunities will arise. Graduates, let's make the most of our newest change. The world needs us.